Well, after all those half square triangles of the last couple quilts, I needed a brain break. So we're gonna go back to easy peasy 3-yard quilts because not a single one on here has a half square triangle. So we're taking our look, seeing which ones. I've done dash. I don't think I've done sweet times. I haven't done tic tac, which looks like that could be a fun one with a double focus kind of print. But today, this reminds me of the song in Annie. We're gonna go down easy street. So I've got some fun prints. One fun print, not the rest aren't fun. Some coordinates that go with it, and we're gonna make some quilt magic. So our big focal print is gonna be a big square. We've used this fabric before, but how can you resist dinosaurs? I know I can't. So I think this is my last little bit of it. This was a Joann's fabric, and now there is no more. So at least it's gonna go into something cute and something fun. So that's gonna be fabric number 1. Fabric number 2, that's going to be kind of our background fabric, where on this one, let me see if it's easier to hold it this way. On this one here, we've got the white. I think I might have to lay these together. Currently, unless something else happens, this is what I'm planning to use. It's kind of like a tealish green. It does go okay with these guys. It just kind of gives it a little bit of darkness. And then fabric number 3, I've got this purpley crackle. So we're kind of working in some purple jewel tones here. My nails kind of match that guy. And I'm gonna figure out these two while I look at it. So we've got some cutting ahead of us, and then it's gonna be time to head on down Easy Street and make this quilt top.
So I kept going back and forth on what goes where, but here is what we settled on. Fabric A is the dinosaurs, obviously the best and beautiful focal piece. And then where the red was is going to be the purple. So that's going to be, these are strip units somewhere. This is the outer border. This is strip units here. Inner border, inner border, because the purple's on the outside. And I cut this for the binding instead because I had plenty of it. And dinosaurs is a binding. No thank you. I would want my dinosaurs to shine. So they're going to shine in the blocks and be framed up by this purpley tealy. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm ready for it. I hope you are too. So now that I've completed and cut my strip units, I'm going to show you what's going to happen next. So this big one is our big blocks, and I've got a border each side of it, so they're going to get a purple on each side. And then these guys are going to make the smaller, well, they are smaller blocks, but they're going to make the secondary block. And what I had to do, because my dinosaurs are directional, I had to make sure half of my blocks would have this on the bottom, this little strip unit, so then I can put it here. And then this one will be on this side. These will be diagonal from each other. Like a little 4 patch. And then these go in here somehow. These are going to have the strip unit on the side, and I can't remember if this way. I'll have to look at my book. But they have the strip unit on the side, and then the other one's going to go here. So it'll be purple, purple, dino, with the big dino, and then this I think is the first inside border, and then my purple is the outside border. So this is actually coming together pretty quickly now that I've picked it up for the first time since April, and we're getting the ball rolling. So I'm going to sew these units on, press them, those units on, press them, that one, and then figure out how this block goes together, and then I'll come back and show you the blocks before we make the quilt top. So here's the big block, here's the 4 patch block, and now they're going to go together. So one row is going to go 1, 2, 3, the other one's going to go 1, 2, 3, and that's going to repeat. And then we're going to have our quilt top, and while that's happening, I've got my borders, my bindings in here too, so I'm going to iron those real quick, get my binding on my spool, just so it's done and out of the way. But then we're going to have this cute little pink and purple and teal dinosaur quilt, because what's better than a regular dinosaur quilt than a super cute fun one? Nothing. So here we are with Easy Street being our last and final 3-yard quilt that was cut out from April, finally in a quilt top. And I mean, it was nice to save the easiest one for last. No half square triangles, very simple piecing, a lot of strip piecing, and I think it came together really well. Even though I'm pretty sure at the beginning I was not too sure about this teal really working in there, but I think now that it's kind of broken up and in its little places, I think it really works. And I really like how this kind of makes it look like it's not fully pieced. I mean, in a sense of like partial seams, not like I didn't leave anything unsewn, because it kind of almost like a figure 8 around it. And so I highly recommend this one. If you're wanting something that's quick, I pretty much sewed this all together in a night. It was just coming down to the borders that were the last part that I need to get done. But super great, super easy. That's probably why it's the Easy Peasy quilt book. And as you saw, you can totally do it with directional fabric, no problem. What I did, just so you know, if you end up doing it with directional fabric, it has you cut 1 full strip unit and 2 partial units. So I used my 2 partial units on the bottom to get to this piece over here, and I did my full unit with it on the top. So then I would have equal amount, because you needed 12 all together. So 6 with it on the top, 6 with it on the bottom. So that's what I did in order to make sure I had the same amount of partial on the top, seam on the bottom, and then my blocks would all fit together instead of having upside down and sideways dinosaurs. So I'm gonna be thinking about how to quilt this. I mean, I could just do dinosaurs all over like I love, but I'm gonna see if I have one that maybe like represents this like crackly color.
Texture, I'll probably do purple thread because that's the dominant color, as we can see. And then I don't know about my backing. It may just depend what I can find that's a solid. I've got plenty of options. My binding, if I remember where I put it, is this color. So I should probably take that into consideration. Maybe I'll do a purple backing, just purple it all out, just like my hair, and then go from there. So I have to find backing. I have to figure out what I'm gonna do, but that's not today, that is next time. So let me give you an up close look at this piecing, and then we'll be back real soon to quilt this easy peasy, easy street quilt top. So we'll see you then.